Hey, this is Taylor with Believe in the Run.
This is Reese with Believe in the Run.
And we're here with a full review of a Puma trail shoe. This is the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite Trail.
First question I have to ask you.
Yep.
What do you know about Pumas, the actual Puma? Is it different than a mountain lion? Like, genuinely, I don't know.
It's not different.
It's not different. Okay, because the only thing that I know about Puma is I'd never want to see one in real life. And two, Puma sponsors Victor Hovland, and he seems like a cool cat.
Oh, there's your call out. Victor?
Yeah, Victor, that's your call out. But I've been thinking about that dad joke for like a week, and it's not good.
Let's go from top to bottom, because I think we were both more impressed than we thought we would be with this particular shoe.
100%. I thought it was a road shoe, and I've had trouble with road shoes turned trail shoes in the past. So I was...
Which one specifically?
The Metafuji, A6 Metafuji Trail. The worst ankle twist in my entire life.
But this one, and I expected the Puma Deviate Elite, Nitro Elite Trail.
It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. I expected this to be a lot like that shoe, honestly,
same.
Because we've seen it from Nike, we've seen it from Adidas, ASICS, that they take their best road models and just kind of transition it over to trail. And sometimes it works, but the ones that have done it the best have altered different things within the different ingredients in the shoe. And
I'm super impressed by this shoe.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's start from the top.
Yep.
The first thing I noticed when I tried it on, aside from, I mean, we'll get to the bottom, but the wind actually like blew through their upper, which is the UltraWeave.
Yeah.
It's super light, super thin. It's the same kind of upper we've been seeing on a lot of like really high-end shoes.
Yeah, and it used to be where like for a while people were chasing to have some sort of outsole that is on par with everybody, and then finding some of the foams, and that's still give or take here and there. But it really seems like every big brand now has found a really nice, lightweight, breathable. I've been using the word tenacious a lot.
Ooh,
like it's a tenacious upper. It's going to be very durable.
I'm loving that descriptor.
Yeah, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Tenacious?
Super robust. It has a small little toe protect.
Yeah. I'm just going to comment on that a little bit, because that's one thing that I didn't appreciate as much. It's usually the toe protect is on the outside of the shoe, but this one they did it internally.
Yeah.
And so I got a little bit of pinky toe rub here. Nothing too crazy, but it was enough to notice.
Yep.
So, and I don't know of any other shoe that has done that internally.
And for me, this was a really wide platform that my foot like did not even come out this far, so I didn't have that issue. And it was like fit wise, like I had a full thumb in between my foot and the top of the shoe, so I had plenty of room, which is good for like long distance stuff. And so I didn't have
and this will be able to go the distance if you can figure out fit, for sure. Because I thought, for me personally, I can go 10.5, sometimes 11 if I need to.
Yep.
And this shoe felt true to size for me. I would take this, out for many hours and and feel really comfortable. But if you're going ultra, maybe in your case, you might want to just stay the same size. But
totally.
In my case, I might want to half size up.
Yeah.
And so
it's going to be like a 100-mile shoe for most people.
Yeah, and feel really comfortable. This heel construction is very firm. And I think that was needed. They needed to have that structure up there. But what I didn't love about it is that it felt really rough around the top. And for me, that actually, you can even see that it's wore down on the lateral side of the front of my ankle. And it rubbed there. And I left me wanting a little bit more out of the tongue in that. Because this is a really thin tongue. I think it lays really nicely, but it wasn't enough to protect from this roughness on the collar. And same with the backside. There's a lot of rubbing done here. I think the structure was needed because of the rest of the shoe. Just needed more structure to have a supportive, smooth ride.
Yep.
But I think this piece, the heel collar, really got me in the Achilles, especially on longer runs.
I didn't have that issue, but my reason, I think, is because I normally wear inserts that raise my foot just a slight bit. It provides like structure on the side, and it does raise the back of my heel just like a few millimeters. And so I think I didn't have any heel issues. and the heel felt like thin enough at the top that it kind of like hugged my Achilles. But again, I did feel the shoe was like a little big for how my shoe is, or my foot is shaped. So on descents, I would kind of slide to the front, but I found that like most of the time the heel was good. Everything, all the fit was great.
Would you say you have a fairly narrow foot?
I feel like it's narrow in the back, and I like a snug fit. Like I don't want a lot of room.
Yeah.
Which I get into trouble on really, really big runs when my feet expand. The power tape along with my insert, I was able to snug my foot down, and on technical stuff, not like crazy technical, but like moderate. The stuff around like the foothills here, I was totally fine. I felt super secure in the shoe.
Totally. And I commented on our written review that this is like a very torpedo-like shape, and there's not a lot of trail runners that have that particular shape. Like the Terra Kiger has that shape. The Speed Goat has traditionally had that shape. And if you're not lower to the ground, that can get you into trouble.
Yep.
So, but I mean, flip it over to the outsole. Typically on a shoe like this, it'd be a little broader in the forefoot and then get pretty skinny in the heel and the midfoot.
Yeah.
Like the Metafuji Trail.
Yes. Or even the Adidas.
Yeah, very much so.
I really struggle to run in the Adidas shoes, and even watching people race in them on trail, I'm like, oh, your ankles.
Yeah.
I just see them like snapping.
I had the feeling that it was neutral in the forefoot, but fairly stable in the heel.
Yes.
Which is, I really appreciated, because there's a lot of foam. I mean, 36 millimeters to 30 millimeters, a 6 millimeter drop. That's still pretty high for a trail shoe, especially when you're trying to go fast.
Yeah. And there is a full carbon plate called the purr plate.
Purr plate.
Purr plate. No vowels. Power tape, purr plate.
Everything's purr.
Purr. I like carbon plates in race
agree.
shoes. I think this is a carbon plate for people who hate carbon plates. I didn't feel
not like
that
often.
That like abrasiveness that some people feel. I didn't get that, but I think you had an issue with the heel.
Yeah, I definitely had an issue with the heel. One thing I would say is that the stability overall was really assisted by the power plate.
Yeah.
Power plate. It is forked in the forefoot, which a lot of brands are doing. Really necessary, again, just to be able to be more nimble. Because it ran all the way through, and especially when I was heel striking a little bit more on the downhills or just dancing over a rock or two, I could feel that plate right underneath my heel, and it was pretty uncomfortable. And I think you said you didn't feel that more because of your
I think
insert.
it was the insert. It has like a extra little gel on the heel.
Yeah, so I would have appreciated just a little more coverage through the heel over top of that plate, and or a little more medial arch support. I think that could have alleviated some of that for sure. So if you need support in that way, like maybe this isn't the shoe for you. If you're taking this on more smooth to moderate terrain, I didn't have that very often on that type of terrain, where it's just kind of undulating up and down.
Yeah.
But on those long, steeper descents that we have here in Colorado, I did not love that feeling underfoot.
The foam is like noticeable as soon as you get it. And Puma claims that this shoe lasts 500 miles. 500 miles.
500 miles.
That's a lot of miles.
For any shoe.
Any shoe.
Any modern shoe.
And this, I don't know. It's not showing much wear and tear.
I agree with that. I think where we would find it deteriorating more, maybe on the outsole, we'll get there. But I think this foam, a lot of just modern foams will start breaking down more. So just because they're just built for energy return and some cushion, and that ends up compressing quite a bit.
I wanna talk about this outsole if we can. Puma is saying that it is 3 millimeter lugs, but I don't know if we can see.
3-ish.
Yeah, I feel
millimeters.
Like they taper.
Yeah.
And they taper almost in the wrong direction on the front, so that when you're going uphill, the smallest section, which is like, it's got to be like a millimeter.
Maybe.
Yeah. I found like no purchase.
It's basically flush here.
Yeah. And in Colorado, we have stuff that we call like kitty litter trails, where it's like very fine, like sandy material, but it's really hard to get traction on that, and these did not help.
Even on gravel roads sometimes, I could feel some slippage happening. It's just not a great outsole design.
Yeah.
But what is great is the PumaGrip Grip ATR itself.
Yes.
I feel like that's really durable. It's really
Super
tacky,
nice.
but I think we both wanted a lot more
Yeah.
purchase out of it.
You'd said that like 3.5 millimeters is kind of
Yeah, it's basically
like,
this
that's
lowest.
the race shoe.
Yeah.
And I'd say, yeah, that is like it is serving one purpose. You only break that shoe out at race day.
Exactly.
I'm not like a everyday trainer. I want something a little more than 3.5.
Yeah. And for the most part, like I would want to race in this shoe on the right conditions. But again, to your point about the purr plate, is that you don't feel it so much. It's not so aggressive that like I felt comfortable taking this out on weekly workouts, even easy days, because that foam felt so nice.
Yeah.
There is really nice energy return, nice cushion.
It's super windy.
Super windy. Have we commented on that?
We apologize if there's wind.
But overall, I think this is quite a versatile shoe.
I'm really shocked. I just was not expecting a Puma shoe to be like up there with other shoes. Okay, we see you, Puma. Like, all right.
And to be fair, like this is our first real Puma shoe.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got a couple pairs when I broke my foot a while ago, and walking around in them, you could tell it just wasn't on par with a lot of other shoes.
On par. Golf reference.
Victor. If you're watching.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
They were on par with some shoes, but this is up there.
Yeah.
Like this might make our top 5 race day shoes for sure this year.
And it's,
for sure in 2025, but maybe all time.
And it is up there in price, I would say. It's $230.
Yep.
But
which is average for a race day shoe that includes a carbon plate, some really high-end foams, like.
And I do think it's going to last way longer than other similarly priced race day shoes, like some of the North Face, some of the Adidas. They're all over 200, and I see them degrading at like twice the rate. I mean, that's not scientific, but much faster.
Yeah, exactly. I think you are going to get quite a few miles out of.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I would say, for most race day shoes, if I get 200 miles out of them and feel really good about it, that's fine. So let's go to our form, fit, and function. Our overall score.
Yep.
For form, what do you got?
Form, I'm going 4.
4.
I think, and maybe it's just like I'm really impressed with it. A Puma shoe, it just performs really well. Like the shape of it has like the stability that I'm looking for. It has ample room. So if you're doing like a Western States, a javelina, like this is perfect.
I'm going to go 4.
Okay.
I think the geometries are really nice.
Yeah.
Really quality build for sure. And I think that you nailed it with saying like they kind of hit every point really well.
Yeah.
I think, I'm excited for next versions of this.
100%.
But I'm also excited for many more miles in this particular shoe. So let's go to fit.
Fit for me is a 3, only because like I think it's a big shoe for me. Like I could have sized a half size down. I normally wear 7.5. This is a 7.5. It fit fine, but it did feel a little roomy for like day-to-day runs. But if you're doing 100K, 100 mile, then it's perfect for that. And maybe that's just what this is for. The issues you had, I solved with the insert.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to give it a 3 too, because I thought it did fit true to size for me in particular. And again, I could borderline going up a size in a lot of shoes, but I prefer a 10.5 because I also like that more secure fit overall. And so, but I did have those issues that just rubbed me the wrong way. And
we are like, they're like, you guys can't do this again together.
Just the trail folk. It's fine.
Yeah.
But overall, for foot security, all that kind of stuff, that was great.
Yeah.
Okay. And then function,
I'm going to go 4. I think for most of the trails around here, like totally fine. I think once you go up into like the mountains in the middle of summer. Yeah. It's going to get a little dicey, but I think everything, 90% of what I run on a day-to-day basis, this would be perfect for.
Yeah, and I'm going to go 4 too. We're just really in sync with this one.
Yeah.
Which must also show that it's pretty awesome shoe. I think for what it's made for, those easy to moderate trails, it's going to it just sings. Like it just marble in a groove type of thing.
Yeah.
You can just put some miles down. It didn't love to dance on some of the more moderate to technical terrains.
Sings but not dances.
Sings but there we go.
There we go. So that's the one.
What kind of courses would you approach for this kind of shoe?
I'm going
like
race day. Javelina, Black Canyon, maybe actually even some of the AT on JFK, because I'm thinking about it. I think it could get slippery if it's like any kind of moisture is on the trail. Don't do it. Bad shoe. This would be the opposite shoe. But this is like dry weather.
Overall, again, Puma.
We love it.
We love it. I'm excited for the trickle down effect.
Yes.
How this one trickles down through the other offerings that they're going to come out with. 11 on 50. Not a bad score, especially for that race day category and for first time in that category for sure.
First timers.
Okay.
Love
Puma.
it. Okay. Do you want to go long? I'll throw you both of them at you. I don't know how we're doing this. Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna do underhand. Ready? Oh. Oh, you got it. Nailed it.